The wind changed on a dime, and next thing we know, we had to scramble to really get out of there. It was a lot of chaos. It was crazy. You'll get through it one day at a time, you know? Excuse me.
So many people across Southern California, their lives forever changed, this new normal that they've been forced into. Welcome, everybody. I'm Melvin Robert. This is Good Day LA at 6 o'clock.
And I'm Jen Lammers. We do continue our coverage of the deadly wildfires happening in Southern California. Several big fires continue to burn in the LA area right now. Red flag warnings are in effect through tonight. Nearly 20,000 acres have been destroyed in the Palisades Fire, and the fire is only 6% contained.
We've also learned that 2 people have died in the fire. Let's get to Gigi Graciette, who's in Malibu for us with the very latest. Gigi, good morning.
Mel and Jen, good morning, everyone. The losses are absolutely staggering, and they are not just limited to Pacific Palisades. As you mentioned, we're in Malibu today, where we've seen home after home, business after business burnt to the ground. And this morning, we're at the historic Topanga Ranch Motel here on Pacific Coast Highway across from Topanga Beach, where all the bungalows built back in 1929 by William Randolph Hurst and later acquired in 2002 by the state parks have been burnt to the ground, as well as state park employee residence, according to California State Parks. It also damaged, we're told, Will Rogers Historic Ranch House and other historic buildings at nearby Will Rogers State Historic Park. And take a look at this. Skyfox was above entire neighborhoods yesterday in Pacific Palisades that have been leveled by the fire. One house standing here and there, the rest burned to the ground in the nearly 20,000-acre wildfire that has forever changed so many lives. In neighboring Malibu, the scene repeats itself. House after house, business after business on both sides of Pacific Coast Highway destroyed. And with only 6% containment, the firefight is far from over. And then there are the injured. No exact number, but many are burned victims. One, a young city firefighter who suffered a serious head injury. Yesterday, there were at least 4 reports of possible human remains found in the rubble of burnt-out homes. 2 of them here in Malibu, including this one on PCH, where the medical examiner removed the remains believed to be that of the homeowner who stayed behind reportedly to try and save the house. Now, yesterday, the head of FEMA was here in Los Angeles to offer federal assistance, while President Biden committed federal funds to cover 100% of the firefighting costs. If you are a victim of any of the fires that have been happening this week in the Los Angeles area, you can now apply for federal assistance by going to this website, disasterassistance.gov. That's disasterassistance.gov. We're also going to have that website link on our webpage, foxla.com. Let's talk about the death toll. In all the fires, I understand it's up to 10. Here in Malibu, we have 2 confirmed, but sadly, officials tell me they expect that number to go up. Reporting live in Malibu, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Especially as deputies continue to go house by house looking at the rubble. And we also know that if you have somebody in your life who you haven't heard from, you should report them missing to your local police precinct.
That's right. All right, everybody, now let's get over to Maria for a check of our forecast. Good morning.
Yeah, we're, of course, monitoring the winds. The wind is the most critical component when it comes to fires and how to fight those fires. We are anticipating some good news, or at least better news, that we've had this week. The winds have started to weaken. It's still gusty at times, don't get me wrong. However, it is nowhere near what it was just a few days ago, right? Even as late as yesterday. These are some of the winds: 25 miles per hour in Camarillo, about 18 in Oxnard, just a little bit stronger in Malibu Hills, where Gigi was at, closer to the beach. Not as much in the way of wind, you may have noticed. Much lighter. You can see some of the color contours, not as bright here in parts of Santa Monica. So much lighter winds near 3 to 5 miles an hour, nearly calm out over the LA basin. And Orange County, just a little bit of a breeze. Even out towards the Inland Empire, not as bad. 12, 10 miles per hour in Ontario, about 8 miles per hour in Hemet. It's going to continue to diminish as we get to the afternoon. That's the good news. High temperatures slightly warmer because of this offshore component. What's bad is the smoke. Wildfire smoke, really hazardous out there. So please try to not be outdoors at all for any length of time. I'll go over all the rest of the weather alerts in place in just a few moments. In the meantime, let's check in on Stu. He's upstairs in Sky Fox getting to fly. That's another indication of the winds really starting to weaken. Stu, what are we looking at here? Where are you?
Hey, good morning, Maria. Good morning, everybody. We're taking a look at a portion of that Palisades fire that is still burning up in the Topanga State Park area. Take a look at that. That is actually a fire line, and it is just as described, a line of fire. Now, we did see LA City Fire Department up here earlier on, actually. They just came back. That's going to be good for us to show you guys. They have one helicopter out here doing water drops this morning, and apparently he might have just did that drop out there. But there are also crews out here, hand crews, that are making their way up and down this line, and they are starting to work on those ever so important containment numbers. Now, we're talking about 20,000 acres plus that have burned. Right now, that fire's still burning, and at night, the fire usually lays down unless we have those crazy winds, and it has this morning, it definitely has. When I say lay down, meaning less fire activity. You can see just that little bit of line of fire. I'm going to bring that map up real quick just to give you guys an idea of those fire roads that are out here, and just it is very, very dark down there, and you can see some of those hand crews. Those are the trucks right there, and those are filled with workers and firefighters, and they're going to be out there, and they have to physically make their way around this fire, and they are part of those containment numbers that we're talking about. So that part of the fire is actually starting to get underway. Great news, and it does look like if the winds cooperate and everything falls into place, we might have less fire to talk about as the days go on. I'm Stu up in Sky Fox. Back to y'all in the studio.
All right, Stu, thank you very much. Now to this: in neighborhoods devastated by wildfires, homes that have survived the inferno stand empty, and they stand as ghostly reminders of lives that have been left behind. Up to 180,000 residents are currently under mandatory evacuations.
This morning, the National Guard is on the ground. They've been deployed as a final line of defense, protecting what remains: people, property, and hope. Mario takes us there this morning. Good morning.
Melvin, Jen, good morning. Those evacuations remain unchanged. 32,000 of those residents you mentioned in this area are under mandatory orders. We're at Lake and Woodbury, and take a look. This is something you don't normally see. An extra show of force from the California National Guard. They are now stepping in to help with local law enforcement with wildlife efforts in the area. This is one of about a dozen of these armored military vehicles that we've seen here in the area this morning. 400 Guard members have now been deployed to assist law enforcement, and they're here to help with traffic control and securing these fire zones. This comes as 20 people have been arrested for looting in these evacuated areas between Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Governor Newsom approved the deployment, saying the state is using every resource to protect these communities, also warning that looting will not be tolerated. Unfortunately, it's something that we've seen in the past couple of days. Residents here have been pleading and begging for more help during an extremely difficult and heartbreaking time, as you can imagine.
I mean, right now we could use any assistance we could take because this was devastating. It's a real disaster. I know like Katrina and all that was serious, but this is probably the closest that we're going to get the experience to something like that. It's like a movie. That's the best way I can put it. Like, from when it was going on to the aftermath, it's just, best way I can put it is like a Hollywood movie. That's the best way I can put it.
And while the National Guard is stationed at multiple intersections here in the area, the LA County Sheriff's Department is now working on a mandatory curfew, both for the Palisades and Eaton fires. Sheriff Luna says they're working through the legal process to put in place a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in impacted areas. Violators could face a misdemeanor. Now, back out here live, the Angeles National Forest estimates anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 structures have been burned by the Eaton fire. We'll be here throughout the morning. For now, that's the latest. In Altadena, I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
Certainly some level of comfort to see the National Guard out there, I'm sure, among some residents there. Thank you, Mario. And amid these stories of tragedy are stories of people stepping up and helping each other, helping friends and family who've lost everything.
These are the moments where you see the best of humanity.
That's right.
Coco McAvoy is at the Rose Bowl for us, where people are up bright and early to help others. Coco, good morning.
Good morning. It really is incredible to see what's happening here at the Rose Bowl. People coming from all over to help people in need who are impacted by the Eaton fires. I mean, we've got people that are traveling hours in order to give donations. This woman right here, you can see, is giving donations. We've got tons of volunteers and organizers as well. I'm going to see if I can talk to her real quick. So you just gave donations. Yes. Talk about where you drove from and why you decided to do this.
I'm from Long Beach. I was watching the news. I'm going to cry. I was watching the news, and it's like, oh, my God, I just pray for God's grace and continuous mercy. And then I saw that they were here, and I was like, I got all these clothes. Nowhere to put them. I mean, you know, got to find a place to put clothes up when I do laundry. And so I said, you know what, right now it's about 3. I have to start work at 7. I said, I think I get back there and back by 7. And they told us we're working from home. And I was like, okay, that's good. I don't have to get dressed. And so I just went through my drawers, put some stuff in there, grabbed a couple of suits because I know one of my coworkers was affected. Oh, my God, I'm just so sad for everybody and had to do something. And so I'm glad the opportunity was here. I'm glad it was on the news that this was here. That's how I heard about it. I threw some bags together and came, and I'm going to go through my closet and bring as much stuff as I can.
Yes, and your name?
Regina.
Regina, thank you so much for your heart and for doing this.
I had to do something. And I'm glad. I sit there and I see it, and I say, oh, you can do the Red Cross or this or that. And when I saw this, I said, no, I can physically get up and go and do. So I appreciate the opportunity and blessings. God bless everybody that was affected. I'm so, just like everybody else, we're without words. But we can do something, so.
Exactly, and
yes.
I love to see that you are doing something all the way from Long Beach. I want to talk to some of the organizers as well. I have Jade here, also Wes B. So, Wes B, I'll start with you because you got here at 2 p.m. yesterday, and you have not left since. No. Talk about what inspired you to come out here all the way from Inglewood.
Yeah, let me see. First of all, we can't wait on nobody. We can't depend on nobody. FEMA, I know, nothing against y'all, but this Cali, we got to be here for our people. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we are here for the people, by the people. You feel what I'm saying? One band, one sound. One Cali, one sound.
I love that. One band, one sound. One Cali, one sound. And Jade, same for you. What inspired you to come out here?
You know, I'm trying to do my part. I can't be lazy in bed. I'm seeing all these people volunteer on my Instagram, my TikTok and whatnot. And, you know, I just can't be lazy. I got to volunteer. I've done 10 years of volunteer work so far. And, you know, it's just being part of the community.
And you need size 6 baby diapers.
Yes, we need size 6 baby diapers. Any baby products will be really greatly appreciated. Anything at all. You know, we have feminine stuff, but we need a couple more things. Whatever is donated is helpful. Blankets especially, we need blankets, stuff like that. People who are living in their car unfortunately are struggling, you know. Anything is appreciated.
Thank you so much, Jade and Wes B. Jade from South Central, Wes B from Inglewood. You just heard from Regina from Long Beach. People are coming from all over to really help the community here in Pasadena. I'll send it back to you.
God bless those people who are watching what's happening on TV and they just can't, sit down, right? Yeah. They just have to jump into action. Regina, my goodness, what a beautiful soul she is.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a great story, Coco. Thank you.
Wes and Jade for putting this together. Thank you, Coco.
Yeah. Just as you said, Melvin, the best of humanity on display right there at the Rose Bowl. Okay, so Maria.
Yes.
The winds are going to be dying down today as they did yesterday, but I fear that you made mention they might be picking up next week.
We just have to qualify exactly the forecast. Right now, things are looking better, and it's going to get better as we get to the afternoon and even part of the weekend. We're still getting those occasional bursts and wind gusts, especially coming out of the canyons and the passes. High pressure is still, for the most part, going to be in control of our weather, but we've lost that area of low pressure that brought us all that cold air, all that upper support. So it's just kind of a regular, if you will, a Santa Ana wind flow over the next couple of days as we get to the weekend. The red flag warnings are still in effect, though, until about 6 o'clock this evening. A lot of the wind warnings until about 2 p.m. this afternoon. And if those expire this afternoon, that's an even better news to give you as we get to later today. Temperatures are chilly. 41 in Long Beach if you're just heading out. 49 in Pasadena. 29 in Lancaster. 23 in Big Bear. And some gusty winds as well up into the mountains. The heavy smoke, I can't emphasize enough the very hazardous air quality. So we do have that air quality alert in place. And as I mentioned, that red flag warning in place for the greater part of SoCal. That means that these still relatively strong winds and low relative humidity values and slightly warmer temperatures will still give us this extreme fire behavior and, of course, critical fire weather conditions. So I want you to stay vigilant, please, as we get through this period in time. I'll show you